Would you like me to explain how to
Yes,
order?
please. Ah! I feel like we're talking two different languages. Thank you very
Pork
much.
xiaolongbao 10 pieces.
That is a delicious bite of food. You might be wondering what I'm doing here. I'm not just here to eat delicious food, though that is a big plus and a big reason why. But I want to figure out what makes Din Tai Fung Philippines tick. It is one of the most incredible restaurant stories of our time. It is always full, there is always a lineup, and the food is always consistently delicious. So they have to be doing something completely different to make sure that it always comes out the way that they want it to. And I just want to learn as much as possible from that process. Thank you. So we're finally here in Din Tai Fung, and hopefully I learn all the secrets on how to make these beautiful xiaolongbaos. Hello.
Hi everyone.
Hi,
Is your
folks.
cup and apron?
Thank you. So how strict is cleanliness and hygiene here usually?
Should do that every 30 minutes. We need to wash our heads and then lint roller.
Every 30 minutes?
Yes.
This one also?
Yes.
Really?
We have timer inside the kitchen.
Wow. That's crazy. Feel like I'm going into surgery.
Yes.
Here, Robert show you how to flip the dough and then roll the dough. And then after that, you do the
I'll do it.
process.
Okay. So gentle in rolling it out
Yes.
first. Okay.
We need to make sure that the dough is not dry
Yeah.
and then not too soft.
And then what to move? Like
Swing.
a
Yes.
M.
Yes.
Oh, that's okay.
Hard.
More?
Yes. Oh, okay.
Okay, so stretch
Yeah.
while pushing it over.
You need to do this fast because it's getting dry.
Okay, yeah, so I completely messed up already. So why is that important? So that it doesn't break when steaming?
Yes.
This one up, this one down.
Yes. Like that. Like that.
No, okay, so that's not.
It's hard. Okay.
Okay, good. But mine are so flat.
Yes.
Okay, so this is my bad one, their good one. So Din Tai Fung's been 10 years. So you joined,
Since 2016.
okay. And were you able to go to Taiwan also? You?
Oh,
You
yes.
have? Okay,
Siya.
okay. So how was that experience in Taiwan?
Same here.
Tapos yung lasa, were you able to taste it there and taste it here?
Yes.
Same.
Same.
Yeah.
We make sure na pag nag-visit sila ng Taiwan, lahat ng galing Taiwan is same here in the Philippines. We have Shifus visited here in Philippines pag may mga open store tayo to check also kung consistent pa rin yung nagagawa natin from the scratch.
Wow.
Then every year, nagpapadala rin tayo ng mga newly shifu to exposure in Taiwan.
In Taiwan. Okay. So what are the qualities you look for in a good Din Tai Fung Shifu?
We have trainings naman. It's either you have experience or without experience. Meron naman tayong training ground per station. Lahat yun dadaanan. So doon namin masasabi na you're qualified or not.
Then meron din tayo assigned shifu na body talaga sa training. Tututok sa kanya each station dapat kabisado.
If you pass the skills and the exams,
Yeah.
and then we are validate you after 2 months, and then after that, you have final exam.
Okay.
And then we decided to, if you are a good shifus. When your first time, you don't need to use the plank.
What's the plank for? This helps parang make it less hard
Faster.
on the faster.
More
Okay.
faster.
Okay.
But if you're 1 day, 2 days pa lang, you need to use
Learn how to
your,
do it.
yeah.
Kailangan ma-feel mo muna yung
Yung pressure,
Yes.
tapos yung
Yes.
roll. Okay.
You need to force
Here.
it.
And move here. Back
Make it
here.
circle.
I mean, it's... Yeah,
It's
no.
good.
So it needs to be a perfect, close to perfect circle.
And what you're looking for is even pressure, right?
Yes.
So that the dough doesn't have any weak spots or anything like that. And I'm doing it super slow, but dapat that's the speed.
You need 16 pieces in 1 minute.
16 per minute.
Yes, for shifu.
What is the most physical taxing? This one.
This one.
I'm sure most people eat 45 minutes. It's quick, right? So you can be doing on a crazy weekend like thousands.
Times 10.
Yeah, thousands of people. Wow.
But it's a
Okay.
daily routine na kasi.
What's the? I heard of somewhere about the golden ratio. What's the golden ratio?
5 grams on the
Okay.
dough and 16 grams on the filling. Then the last is 18 folds. Make it 18.
So why is it important in Din Tai Fung na may open, visible kitchen?
We make sure na nakikita ng mga diners natin kung paano namin ka-detailed ginagawa yung xiaolongbao. And at the same time, since open kitchen nga siya, syempre we make sure na malinis yung kusina and yung groomings din ng mga shifus natin at the same time. Maayos siya tignan.
And I mean, it also shows to everyone that parang it's made fresh every day,
Yes,
right?
handmade talaga siya.
Ah.
This is the pork xiaolongbao peeling and then we use peeling stick.
Okay, so this is super important that this is always cold, no?
Yes.
So that the fat stays congealed also.
So that we need to have ice pack.
Yeah. So after a while, are people fast enough or there's enough experience that you don't need the weighing scale, or do you keep the weighing scale usually?
We always use weighing scale.
Just always check.
That's consistent.
Yeah. Ah,
It
so that's
help
the
you-
one that's cutting.
Para hindi ka mahirapan maglagay ng filling sa
And
round.
the exact amount of filling when you wait.
21.
21.
Okay, so here. Ah,
So hard. Patient is the key.
yeah, I'm the least patient person in the world. I think I'd be part of the back kitchen. Give me a walk and I'm happy. Sorry, I'm ruining everyone's prep. Sorry, guys. Does that look fairly okay?
Okay, wait.
Wait. 21.
Oh, very good.
Thank you very much. 2 tries.
Inside,
Yeah.
and put it in the middle.
Middle.
Then go back again.
Back.
Then make it let.
Why is
broken. Get another one. Make your finger like that.
I feel like we're talking 2 different languages. I feel like I'm doing what you're telling me, but then I see your hand and I'm like it's completely different. So one more time. 1, 2, 3,
Just make it little moving.
5, 6, 7, 8. We're getting there.
Just relax. You're getting it.
Ah! I was almost there.
Then close. Oh.
This is what they're going to be serving me today. Teach me a lesson.
If everyone's hitting the standards of how many you can make a minute, continuous lang yun, right?
Continuous.
So,
Yes.
walang bottleneck yun. You know, when there's a rush of orders of tickets in the kitchen, it's felt more on the steaming side usually or more on the rolling side?
Steaming. Ang nagkukul lang din sa amin is si steamer man. Kasi siya yung pinaka-center ng linya.
Kailangan nilang maging active listener kasi once si steamer may call na order, kailangan mabigay agad yun.
Pero walang head chef.
Meron senior
may-
line cook.
May senior line cook, okay.
Kailangan
All
si
these
senior line cook lahat ng stations na pupukusan niya and then kung sino yung
Okay.
kailangan ng tulong, nandun siya.
Kailangan kasi may vision siya sa lahat.
This goes on here. Okay. Oh, cool. All the pork are stacked together.
Yes. In 2 minutes, you change it. The upper part, you go to...
The bottom part.
Para maging pantay yung luto ng
Yung luto.
taulo.
Reveal 1, 2.
Whoa, not bad. For the first
This is
time.
I mean, it's a little thick, no?
Yes.
This is okay. This is
Okay, this one.
This one's okay, but the pork's coming out. This is terrible. This is terrible. It looks like someone tried to copy Din Tai Fung and said, bahala na, okay na.
What's a good day at Din Tai Fung?
nakakawala ng pagod pag na-enjoy nila yung pagkain na Xiaolong. Na-appreciate nila yung ginagawa ng front kitchen.
We want them to be memorable, not also for dine-in lang. And makita nila kung paano talaga ginagawa. We make sure na each piece of xiaolongbao is good.
Din Tai Fung didn't begin as a restaurant at all, and that's what makes its story so interesting. Before the Michelin stars and the long queues around the world, it was a small cooking oil shop in Taipei. The shop was run by Yang Bingyi, a Chinese immigrant who opened it in 1958. For a while, business was okay until the 1970s when supermarkets took over and customers slowly stopped coming. Faced with a tough choice, Yang closed half of his oil shop and together with his wife Lai Pen Mei, turned it into a 4-table restaurant serving one thing really well, xiaolongbaos. Yang eventually rightly closed the oil shop and focused on the restaurant, which soon grew into a 4-floor, 300-seat space with loyal fans and steady success. Even the New York Times took notice, naming Din Tai Fung as one of the best restaurants in the world. From there, the brand quietly and steadily became global. In 1996, they opened their first overseas branch in Japan, and more soon followed.
It's incredible, like since standing here, it has not let up. Like there's a constant flow of people, and one of my favorite things in the world to do is to sit down and just watch the operations of restaurants. You can see, the waiters, how they react and what they're conscious of and what they're looking at in terms of making sure that everything is taken care of, and little details like looking if the water's empty and if you're going to be pouring it and stuff like that, if someone's ready to order. And these are all very non-verbal cues. They're cues of how people put the menu down, how they shift their body language, and it kind of signals what they're looking for, what they're ready for. And the mark of great service is to be able to anticipate those demands without ever a hand going up. And to kind of see it done here where people kind of know when something's needed is really great. And that's what I look for in restaurants most of the time. What can make or break a service? Like parang you need to do a pre-shift powwow or...
Ako, meron po tayong powwow. Yun po yung ginagawa sa umaga po, yung powwow.
Yeah.
Yung powwow po kasi is para nalaman po yung nangyari po kagabi or last night.
So what to improve, what you can do better at, and everything like that.
Po.
Yeah. We saw when you were setting up, medyo strict yung mga alignment.
Yes, ano po yan, mga sukat na ginagawa po.
And that's everyone's responsibility,
Yeah,
right? So if you see a mistake or someone sees, you can fix it right away, right?
Yes.
Okay. Today is Wednesday. So medyo busy, pero weekends.
Opo, weekends so
Crazy.
almost busy talaga po.
Yeah.
So,
Constant.
Opo, talagang sobrang daming tao. Almost 1,000 pinapaupo po.
Wow.
So dapat maganda yung flow para po maiwasan po din po natin yung mga complaint ng mga guests.
Yeah.
Para po maging masatisfy po sila sa pag-dine-in po. And then we come back again po pag ganun po yung nangyari po.
At Din Tai Fung, nothing happens by accident. Every step of service follows a reason. Every detail is thought about. The way tea is poured, the way a guest is greeted, and of course, the way the dumpling is folded. It's all deliberate, consistent, repeatable. That standard is internalized. It's part of how the work gets done. Hoping to bring the Din Tai Fung experience to the Philippines, the founders of the Moment Group reached out to the Yangs. What followed was more than a business deal. They described it as an intense courtship that stretched over 2 years, focused on building trust and showing how deeply they aligned with the brand's values. Today, Din Tai Fung is owned by Yang Bingyi's son, Chi Huayang, and has over 180 shops across 15 countries and territories, including the Philippines, where it celebrates its 10th year. All from a place that didn't even start out as a restaurant.
Yes.
Menu, sir.
Thank you.
Then this one is an order slip, sir. Would you like me to explain how to order?
Yes, please. The first thing I actually wanted to do was to attempt to eat the whole menu, but seeing how many items there are here, it is highly unlikely that I'll be able to do so. So I'm gonna go ahead and go with my gut and just order what I want.
Sir?
Yes.
You order spicy pickled cucumber.
Yes. These are all the other appetizers.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
This one is spicy, sir. It's okay.
Okay, great. Yeah. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
That's so good.
Thank
you very
pork
much.
xiaolongbao 10 pieces.
Awesome.
Please enjoy it with your sauce. And be careful, it's hot.
Perfect. Thank you. Whoa. That looks so pretty. Okay, here we go. Poke a little hole right to the side there. Sip the broth. Mmm. That is incredible. The first thing that kind of hits your mouth is that fat sheen, which covers your lips. And it's like really, almost like a really developed broth, which is crazy, come to think of it, because it literally comes just from that pork mix that's in there. So all that broth is created during the steaming process. And you're getting so much collagen. So that pork mix in itself is really special. You know, there's a spectrum of like Western flavors and Asian flavors. You would think you'd get something that's just closer to other Chinese dim sums that you would know, but this one in particular has an extremely savory and almost like a spice-forward flavor that reminds you of some European sausage mixes, right? Which makes it very particular and different.
Then the perfect ratio for the xiaolongbao sauce is 1/4 of brood soy sauce and 3/4 of rice vinegar.
Oh, okay. So more vinegar that I got.
Using your chopstick and soup spoon, then pick the xiaolongbao on its upper part. Then dip into your sauce. Then optionally, sir, you can put some ginger on top of the xiaolongbao to enhance the flavor.
Got it. I'm gonna try it now with the sauce. The original flavor in itself is already really delicious, but that sauce really helps kind of just cut through that fattiness and give you that balance and acidity that you look for. And the addition of the ginger gives you an overall freshness to it, which is really smart because it'll make you want to eat more and more of it versus just one, because naturally when you eat food, you kind of look for balance and texture, and here you kind of get a bit of everything, which is quite nice. Yum.
Sure, brine noodles with spicy shrimp and pork wonton.
Awesome. This is the pork
Chop fried rice.
Okay.
Crunchy.
Crispy beef.
Crispy beef strips.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you.
This one is salted egg yolk prawns.
Awesome. I think one of the coolest things about Din Tai Fung in the Philippines is that they were able to add their mark in terms of the dishes that are now being served also outside of the Philippines, which just goes to show how much respect, you know, the owners of Din Tai Fung have with the operation in the Philippines in allowing them to kind of create their own dishes. You know, and you think usually they're very prescriptive with how things should be done, which obviously is the case here. But there's a lot of trust also with the local partners in allowing them to kind of showcase that they really know their market and what they're looking for. And some of these dishes are here. So we have the crispy beef, which is kind of like a sweet sour thing going on. You got some carrots and bell peppers in there. And these like incredibly crispy, deep fried, shattery textures, slices of beef, which are so addicting. It's like, imagine a thin, tunnely pork chicharron but with beef with a sweet sour sauce that just kind of clings to it beautifully. I'll do the noodles first, because he did mention to mix this while it's hot so it doesn't congeal. This looks insane, by the way. You know 100% that they're making these noodles fresh also, and they're probably really tasty. That with some pork dumplings. It has that chili crisp spice that everyone loves so much and kind of goes straight to your nose, but it's so addicting. Yum. Next we have our salted egg, which I'm a huge fan of. Yum. I was thinking it'd be fun to kind of rate some of the food, but I'll save that when I have everything in front of me. I didn't expect this at all. I really thought it was gonna be pork chopped inside the rice, but it was literally a pork cutlet on top of the rice. It's a massive dish. Wow. That's so tender and almost like velveted. Let's try that rice. Oh my God. That's such a good fried rice. Like, a mark of a good fried rice is one, the flavor really has to be around each grain, but at the same time, it has to retain structure and fluffiness, and that's exactly what you have there. That is delicious.
Fish or truffle xiaolongbao. And for this kind of xiaolongbao, sir, we suggest to please sip some water first
Yep.
to cleanse your palate. Then we use new setup spoon for you to taste the real flavor of truffle and best eaten without sauce.
Awesome. I love that. I think if we learned anything today is that you can do things at an incredible standard in terms of managing expectations and delivering on those expectations. The simple idea of changing your sauce or your spoon to not affect the flavors is almost like a fine dining approach, right? And that's probably why they got the Michelin star. And the way they've approached it makes you understand how you can take something so simple and something so traditional and much loved and add a lot of care to it that kind of brings it to the next level. Let's try the truffle xiaolongbao. I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna try it without the sauce. Oh my God. That is insane. There are actual pieces of truffle in there, which is super nice. Very aromatic. Not your cloyingly, overly truffled truffle oils that are used a lot in pastas. That is a delicious bite of food. I don't think I've ever eaten this many dumplings in my life. It's a good day. Let me have my winter melon tea. You do the cheese first, and then tea. I'm so full.
This one, fog rind chicken xiaolongbao.
You know it's a statement when there's like one dumpling in the basket. Like you're used to seeing 10. This one's so special, it's by itself. Let's have the water first. So I know foie gras for some people is divisive, but I mean, my dad is French, so I grew up kind of having it around the house. Yum. That is like, there's two types of foie gras. Most people will know foie gras mousses or foie gras pâtés. Number two is your foie gras that's just in liver form itself. That's the fresh kind. So the kind that really just, you can taste the liveriness, not in a bad way, in a really great way. And that real foie gras flavor shines through. And again, whatever they're putting in their meat mixes that creates that incredible collagen broth makes that experience so much better. Okay, all my savory foods here now. The pork xiaolongbao, easy 10 on 10. I could eat dozens of that. Truffle xiaolongbao, an 8, just because I know I'd only be able to eat one of those because it's very powerful. The foie gras is an 11. It is so delicious. These crispy beef strips is something I will be craving. So I give that a 9 over 10. The noodles, only because I'm not a noodles guy, I'd give this a 6 over 10. The fried rice, 10 out of 10. The pork, 9 out of 10. Salted egg shrimp, I give that a 6 or 7 over 10. I mean, the flavor's there and everything, but it's something that I've had quite a few times. Overall, everything's delicious.
Chocolate xiaolongbao. This one is a rock salt and scissor. You can dip the chocolate or...
The same from here.
Yes, sir.
Ah, cool. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
So even the chocolate xiaolongbao has a sauce. Let me try that with the cheese. Oh my God, you're such a naughty little dumpling. Oh my God, it's so good though. So they have a term here that they use internally when talking about how they do things, and that's the concept of happy OC, which I think is so cool. This idea that you can do things at a certain standard that is very rigid, very consistent, and just sets you up for success, which is incredible, but that you can do it with joy and you can do it positively.
That observation became a cornerstone of how Din Tai Fung operates here. The founders of the Moment Group coined the term Happy OC, which means anticipating what a guest needs before they ask. It means holding every interaction, every single one, to the same exacting standard. It means finding purpose in the details most diners will never consciously notice, but will always feel. Because that's the difference between service and hospitality, between doing the job and meaning it.
When you think of big restaurants that are really successful, there's this idea of a very strict, unhappy, kind of like chef in the kitchen or everything. But watching the service, watching how the food was made, you do feel a sense of cohesion, right? And there's also a sense of a shared mission of being the absolute best that you can, from your chopsticks pointing in the right direction, for everything being so precise in terms of how it's placed, how it's positioned, to how the food's made, to how the wrappers are rolled. All of those little details make the bigger picture and make Din Tai Fung Philippines what it is today. As someone who has had lots of restaurants and who still runs restaurants, it's so inspiring to see that being done at this level and scale. And making sure that everyone leaves with a positive experience is probably one of the hardest things to do. And even more harder than that is that the people working and doing that are happy. And that is the best food experience that you could possibly have. Should I have one more? I don't know. I kind of want to be sexy for summer. I don't know.